Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to touch on the update and what's going on in Star Stable a little bit, just to give an update to those of you guys on YouTube who may not be fully aware about like what's going on social media right now and what's going on in the Star Stable community. For those of you who don't know, there's been like a new update this week to the Trailblazer in Star Stable. And due to these new updates, there's been a lot of player backlash, and actually I think like a boycott that's been going around in the Star Stable community. I think that Reddit, and I think it's mainly Reddit, was talking about the boycott right now. But I'm gonna put up a screenshot of the updates to the Trailblazer that basically that's changed in the game. So basically the most notable updates were that you have fewer milestones. We've gone from 35 to 25 milestones. You get increased early points. So now you earn, I think, 120 trail points for your first 1 through 4 activities. And activities include the daily races, daily quests, main quests, side quests, exchange quests, caring for your horses, completing achievements, and a lot more. I'm just gonna post the screenshot on the screen so you guys can read this too. Now we have a daily activity cap where basically the first 13 activities that you do are gonna earn you Trailblazer points, but then after that, you're not gonna earn any points, you're just gonna get 0. Also, you can no longer gain points from gatherables, so for those of you who like to collect light or plants, I'm sorry, but those are no longer gonna be giving you Trailblazer points. Now we have different reward changes, which I think most players did like. Now the reward changes included that plants have been removed from the Trailblazer system. You get free appearance change coupons, and you get happy hoof treats added to the Trailblazer track. So we have a lot of happy hoof treats. As you can see up to here, it goes up to, like they said, 25. But these are all of the items. But yeah, and also for the milestone progression, like I said, you get 25 milestones, and you have to have at least 1,000 trail points to reach each milestone. And mind you, due to the fact that you can no longer collect gatherables and there's an activity cap, it's going to take a lot longer to do these things. So they're going to have the Trailblazer track open for, I think, 20 days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 20 days. And basically, due to these new changes and these caps on activities, now players need to log on and get on and do the max number of activities for at least 16 days in order to get all of the rewards. And it makes it very frustrating, and I'm actually going to read out first, before I share my opinions, I'm going to read out what some other players had to say about this new update. This includes posts on Instagram and also Reddit of players who disagreed. I'll also be sharing a couple of people who did agree with these changes and thought that it was honestly for the better, which was unfortunately not the large majority of players, so I could only find a couple of people that did actually fully agree with this new update. But anyways, this first person on Star Stable Reddit's page said they're pushing away consistent players. So I'm in a gap year, and I'm fortunate enough that I have money saved up, so I can rest until September at home and focus on my mental health and therapy, which means that I have a lot of time on my hands. For 2 months, I've been playing around for about 4 hours every day. And now that they've done this with the Trailblazer, I chose to stand with the community and my fellow players who are unable to play every day. So not only did they push away players who only play on weekends or afternoons, they also made the everyday players mad as well. I would rather not play for a month if it means that they will make a change and people will find joy playing the game again, than have a soulless game with no community left. I do believe power lies in community. I also agree with this player, somebody like me, for example.
I'm a college student.
Star Stable's player database aged with the game. Most people who started this game was back in 2012, 2013, maybe 2020, but even then people are still in their teenage and college years right now, some even being full-grown adults with jobs and working. For example, me, I'm a part-time student and I also have a part-time job, which just makes me a full-timer in my day-to-day life. And it really does make it difficult every day to have to log on and do these quests because I feel like I just don't get the freedom to log on when I want to and do activities at my own pace. And I don't feel like I have as much time to be able to complete all these activities because if I don't log in for at least a minimum of the 16 days out of the 20 that we are provided, then I'm not going to be able to get the rewards that I had wanted, you know what I mean? So it makes it very difficult, I want to say, to play the game. Another person said, the new track system makes you play 16 days minimum if you want to grab every item, and then it limits the activities that you can do to earn points. The whole point of these tracks was to get people playing, up engagement, and let people earn points the way that they want. They've taken that away now. I'm going to use myself as an example, but there are many of us who are in similar situations. For people like myself who are chronically ill, it feels like a huge slap in the face. I have treatments 3 times a week, and every week that leaves me exhausted and unable to play on those days. That's 12 days every month I cannot play. But I've been able to grind light and gardening and make up the days I'm unable to play with the last system, and usually complete the track within 4 to 5 days of it ending. I can't do that now. I would have to play every day that I don't have treatment, which is not feasible as I do have appointments and plans already made, so this new system has taken away a gameplay mechanic that I used to be able to do. It'd be different if it had been something like this all along, but taking away something from a ton of your player base that had access to it since the beginning is an awful, awful thing to do. They also did not tell us they were going to do this until yesterday, so it's sort of blindsided a lot of people too. Honestly, I feel really bad for this person that posted this because I can totally understand how stressful it must be for them now to have to worry about not only their treatment plan, but also like missing out on the rewards that Star Stable's given people. And now, like, if they really wanted to get the items that they missed out, their only option would be to buy star coins when the items come out in September, which is honestly like awful because that's just a money grabbing technique that Star Stable is doing to milk out as much money from their player base as possible. And now that they're taking away like the things that we do have and the things like the small things that do bring us joy in the game, it makes it really difficult to really enjoy the game as a whole. Somebody else said, as somebody who works 12-hour days, 12 days a week, the old Trailblazer system was a boon to me. The 2 days I have off every other week are my chance to catch up by grinding races, dailies, and gatherables all day. It worked all right for me, especially when double points were active. This new system is designed to be finished in 16 days. I'll never be able to finish another Trailblazer. The beauty of this game was being able to log on and finish things despite my crazy schedule. In fact, SSO is the only game I've been able to keep logging into since I started this job, and it's helped me wind down when I'm not working. I hope the pushback y'all are getting convinces you to not put a limit on how many points we can gather in a day. That is really difficult, and yet again, like I was saying before, this new update really puts a big strain on the larger demographic of Star Stable, which are mainly students and people who have jobs or are working part-time, college students and high school students. So I really don't understand how putting a limit to so many things, like having a minimum of the number of days out of 20 days you can log on to get items, having a minimum number of daily cap points, you know what I mean? It's like, in all honesty, this is more likely to push players away than it is to bring the community together, and it doesn't even look good. Like, it will not look good for investors, so I don't really understand what Star Stable was trying to achieve with this update. It's honestly like they did so well with the Margin Gas update, and so many people came back and actually really were giving the game compliments and thought that the game was moving forward. But now it kind of feels like Star Stable just took a massive step back after taking like 2 good steps forward. And it's like they were just right back where they started. Anyways, another person said, I was really disappointed in these changes. It seems like an attempt to force players to log in daily for the sake of showing investors without taking into account the fact that many Star Stable players are unable to do so for health reasons, because of work, school, etc. As a longtime player, these changes only make me discouraged to log on and less likely to do so daily when my hard work feels unrecognized. Somebody else who is a really long-time player from back in 2012 posted, as a long-time incredibly faithful player who started in 2012, I don't really understand why this change to the Trailblazer system was made. If I can recall, the only thing I personally remember was seeing. Are players not asking for flowers as rewards, not a complete Trailblazer system redesign? Like many of us adults, we don't always have time to get on every day, and the excuse of you'll be able to buy the items later in game doesn't hold anymore with this new system. If a majority of us can't find the time nor inspiration to complete the Trailblazer in the first place, so I'm really lost at where the idea came into play of changing the entire Trailblazer system. It was completely fine, and as someone who watches the community closely, I saw no complaints from anyone asking for this change. I can only hope these changes will be reversed, because this is absolutely not what any of us asked for. So I implore you, the SSO team, to make the right call here, especially because most of us use this game to escape the reality of the real world, especially now with how bad things are going. Sincerely, a longtime loyal to the Bone player. Sorry if, my reading is really choppy. I'm trying to pay attention to the screen and my phone, which is laying on my desk right now, so my head just keeps going up and down, and that's why I keep having so many, word errors, grammatical errors and stuff like that. Anyways, another player posted, I understand the take on this, Star Stable's take on this, but I'm disappointed anyway. No way to earn extra points if I'm not able to play every day, and those of us who want to grind should be able to. I also agree. I feel like by doing this new update, Star Stable is really constricting a lot of the way or play style of certain players. Different players like to play games in different ways. Some people like to grind, some people like to take their time. Personally, for me, I'm kind of like a mix between the two. Having the ability to grind for items and tools when I need to is really convenient when I'm in a rush or don't have a lot of time. But also having the freedom to be able to take my time and enjoy the game at certain moments is also really enjoyable. But now it just feels like Star Stable is taking away the options, and it makes it just, like I said before, and I know I sound like a broken record, but just more difficult to play this game and really enjoy it to its fullest with these updates that really feels like it's going against its player database. Somebody else said, as someone who's constantly struggling with their physical health, logging on some days can get rather hard. I feel like removing the choice to collect points by gathering light and or plants, in addition to no longer getting any points after finishing the first 12 quests, is not only unmotivating, but also a little ableist. A big part of the community consists of full-time working adults or people who are already struggling to finish the track due to medical reasons. So it seems to limit those individuals even more now. Some of us need the chance to grind on our free time and or good days. So I cannot help but feel like we're getting punished. Unfortunately, the only chance that I personally support is leaving out plant-based rewards. I do hope the team will reconsider this decision. It is crucial for some of the players. Yeah, that is just really tough. I totally sympathize with this person, and I really do hope that Star Stable will listen to their database, because there was so much backlash from the community, especially on Instagram, for those of you who are online. One of the reasons why I am making this video is just for people who do not have Instagram or don't have Reddit or may not be fully aware of what is going on right now. But also, I would like to let the people who are on Instagram and on Reddit know to please not attack the social media team of Star Stable. They are not in charge of they're not the direct people making changes to the game and the gameplay and stuff like that. It's actually the higher ups. And I mean, sending your feedback is incredibly important, and whether that means whether that means sending your feedback through social media or through Star Stable's support team, doing so is really important to share your voice, but do not attack anybody, because that does not help anyone. Somebody else on Instagram said, capping the number of times you can receive rewards feels incredibly restrictive for those who cannot get online every day, removing the rewards from gatherable items even more so. Another person said, this is disappointing. The Trailblazer is what motivated me to play, even if I don't have time to log in every day, because I know I can grind on a few days when I actually have time. Collecting light and getting points for the Trailblazer was so satisfying and rewarding. If you remove that feature, it won't do good to anyone, but it will disappoint a lot of your loyal players. And now I'm gonna go to Reddit and just read a couple of the messages from people on Reddit. Somebody said, I feel like they don't want players to finish the Trailblazers. They want players to buy star coins and to buy the set in 6 months. It's another money grab. That is what has me angry. This change is unnecessary and it feels like a punishment. I won't be logging in tomorrow. This is what I was saying before. Star Stable releases all of these items in the Trailblazer track in about 6 months after the Trailblazer ends. But in order to get all those items, a lot of the time players would need to buy star coins because of just how expensive the items are. I mean, if you guys have seen the global store, a lot of these items are like 9,000 Jorvik shillings, another 8,000 Jorvik shillings for a bridal. So to get an entire set of tack really would take a lot of grinding for Jorvik shillings, or you could just buy a large amount of star coins and just buy all the tack, which is what majority of players do because of the fear of missing out. Somebody else on Reddit said, I agree that I only have time to log in once or twice a week, so I mostly can't complete the Trailblazers. The ones I did complete was because I grinded on the days when I was able to log on, and now even that won't be an option for me with these changes. That is just really tough. I really do feel a lot of sympathy for the people who cannot log on every day or have mental health or physical health struggles and find this game as like an outlet for them and less stressful. And when they log onto this game for enjoyment, and you kind of use, video games as an escape from, the real world. But when games start feeling like a chore or start adding stress to your life, they stop becoming enjoyable. You don't want to play it anymore. So I completely understand where these people are coming from. Somebody else on Reddit said, I'm not going to log in for the rest of this month because of this. And honestly, I am not surprised that there are so many people that are boycotting this. I mean, literally the only reason why I'm on Star Stable today is just so I can film this video with something in the background. Okay, so I managed to find like 2 people, and there was probably more, but I managed to find 2 people who disagreed with the disagreeers. Like, these were people who supported the update and didn't think it was that big of a deal. Somebody said, I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't care. I love that they shortened it, and it feels more meaningful now. They're referring to the Trailblazer track. I can play for an hour and be gone. If I don't like the outfit, then I won't play. It's not that deep. Somebody else who also agreed with the new update said, the changes are good and reasonable. Sure, they could have done it when it came out and not more than a year later, but I agree with all the changes that they made, and I like/don't mind them. It makes it more like a Trailblazer to me than what it used to be. It's more challenging, but also is easier with less unneeded rewards. I hated spending a lot of time on it just to receive rewards that I would throw away or sell because I only wanted the clothes and coupons. Now, a lot of these responses on social media, on Reddit, got a couple of downvotes because people disagreed. Because, mind you, majority of the database are players who are college students, people working, students, and don't have time to log on every day, so this directly affects them the most. So if it's only a couple of people who are like, oh, I don't care, I'll still log in and I'll still do this stuff, it makes it really difficult for the players who actually want a change to be made to have that change made. So I can see why the players are getting a couple of downvotes. Overall, those were the responses that I saw on social media that I just wanted to share with you guys to give those of you who may not know exactly what's going on an update about the new Trailblazer system and the update for this week. If you guys want to share your opinions, let me know what you guys think about this new update in the comments. Please be respectful to those who may not agree with you, because remember, we're all human at the end of the day. This is a video game, but I also completely understand that the people who put in time and money and effort into this game and how frustrated they are completely in their right to be upset about this new update. But yes, please try and be respectful to those people. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully that'll be coming out sometime this week. I'll see if I'll get it done by Saturday or Sunday. Bye! Wait, let me get my little emote. Bye!